hello, hello. If you have been with us, you will know that we have been talking about how to set up your children's financial future. So that's what we're going to talk about today. Thank you guys so much for tuning in, giving me a piece of your Friday morning. I really appreciate you so much. And just like last time, how I only gave 2 tips, I'm going to do the same thing today, where I'm just sharing with you bite-sized pieces of things and information and tips that you can do to help you set up your children's financial future. This will probably just be a few segments, and then we'll move on to the next topic. Again, we are LP Consulting and Solutions. LP Consulting and Management. If you are not aware of who we are or what we do, we help people reach their personal financial goals. And so today, like I said, I'm going to share with you 2 tips to help build your children's financial future. I know last week we talked about 2 things. We talked about number 1, just really creating a retirement account for your children. People didn't even know, like, you can start a retirement account. You can start a retirement account for your children before they're even 18. So you're helping them build their financial future in that regards. And then number 2 topic that we talked about last week was putting your child on your card as an authorized user. Of course, this only works if you have not necessarily good credit, but if you are financially responsible, you pay your bills on time, you spend something, you pay it off. And so once again, we don't want to tell you what to do with your money. That is ultimately up to you on what you want to do with your money. What we do is we give you suggestions and tips and tools, and we educate you, because sometimes people don't know they simply don't know what's out here, what's available. And so we want to do that. So at least you know that you have options and you have things that you can do and you're not stuck. So number 1, and like I always say, I'm not going to stay before you long today. Right. I won't be on here long, just 55 minutes. No, I'm just joking. But number 1, the first thing you're going to do, people, is give your child a savings account. Try to find a high interest savings account. I know here in Michigan, they have an amazing credit union that has a pretty decent interest, pretty decent interest rate. And so if you can get your child a high interest savings account, I know it's not something that's super easy to find. A little research, a little Google, if you will, or asking around, going to different banking institutions, financial institutions, and asking around. But find a high interest savings account. Start a savings account. And I always urge people to say, hey, instead of buying you this toy that you're only going to play with for a few days on your birthday, or buying you a slew of toys that you're only going to play with for a few days on your birthday or another holiday or never. Some kids just play with the boxes. They don't even play with the toys. So instead of wasting your money to make yourself feel good, how about you encourage other people as well as yourself to say, hey, I'll buy you a toy or 2. But instead of bombarding your toy box with unnecessary things that you really won't even play with, I'm going to purchase you stocks or bonds, right? That's an option as well. And we'll talk more about that. Or I'm going to put money in your savings account. Let's take a trip to the bank. I'm going to show you how to fill out a bank deposit slip. Also another topic for another day. But again, instead of buying those unnecessary things for holidays, cut back. I'm not saying completely stop, because let's face it, we're parents, we're not going to stop. But let's scale back a little bit and put money towards something that matters, and that's their future. Whether or not they go to college, whether or not, they purchase a brand new car or a brand new home once they're 18 or they graduate high school or college, it would be nice to have that nest egg there. It's nice to say, hey, for your graduation, whether it be high school or college, I put up some money. I've been saving some money in your savings account. We've been saving some money in your savings account. And you now have $50,000. You now have $75,000. What would that do for your child? What would that do for you? That money can go towards a wedding and a house, or just a house, or like that. It can pay off student loan debt. Like, what would that money do for your child's financial future if you started saving now? It's never too early. When they're born, before they're born, if you don't even have any kids, but you would eventually like kids, wherever you are at right now in life, it's never too early to start saving. I always tell people I actually started saving for my son when he was born. A little bit before he was born, I started off with saving, just putting away extra change, extra coins into a savings account. Once he was here, I said, okay, I'm not going to do anything crazy drastic. I'm just going to put up $4 a day, right? $4 a day. If you split that between two parents, that's $2 a day if you can do that. If not, $4 a day for the one person. You spend more on a bag of chips and soda. You spend more on a McDonald's meal. $4 a day for your child's future wouldn't hurt. So that's what I did. Again, not going to tell you what to do with your money, but that's what I did with my money. And I always suggest you do something similar with your children. Any amount, I won't say any little bit because it can grow exponentially depending on how you move your money, but any amount helps, definitely helps. So number 2, I'm not going to stay on number 1 long. I'm not going to be before you long. But number 2 is encourage your child to do entrepreneurship. If they're at that age, they're like 10, 9. I know I started when I was 9 as an entrepreneur, and it's not for everyone, but it is something to help gauge them and to help teach them about how money works. Even if they're not like super laser focused on entrepreneurship, that's okay. Even if you aren't, but let's start teaching you about money now. Let's start teaching you about entrepreneurship now. What does that look like? I'm gonna explain that to you right now. That looks like this. That looks like setting up a lemonade stand. That looks like selling candy. That looks like babysitting services. That looks like selling something that they made, whether it's a painting or an arts and crafts project or some awesome quotes that they wrote down on some really good paper, like whatever that looks like for your child and for you to come together to say, okay, this is what we're going to do we're going to try this for one summer. Well, we're going to do this whole entrepreneurship thing just to open up your mind to the possibility and to teach them about how money works, how you have to work for the money. And then what do you do after your money? I'm glad you asked. What do you do after the money? After you make the money, you teach them how to save some of it and you teach them how to spend some of it, because it would be funny for me to tell you just to save it all. Just put it all in the savings account. No, the reality of it is we're going to spend some of that as well. And so how to spend your money effectively, how to make it work for you even at a young age can be taught. It can be taught. Right now, I'm encouraging my son, hey, for the summer, what would you like to do? We're working on 2022 summer. What would you like to do? You want to do a lemonade stand? You want to do a snack shack, a little stand with snacks? We can do that so that you can get a better understanding of how money works. Whether you work for someone or you work for yourself, you still have to work for the money, regardless of how it's set up. So getting that started at an early age, how to, when you get your money, how to save some of it and how to spend some of it effectively and how to make proper choices when spending that money. What kind of decisions do you make? How do you make those decisions? Another conversation for another day. But Again, getting them started, something simple. Let's do a garage sale. Getting them involved in entrepreneurship, getting them involved in the process of money. Even outside, if you want to take the entrepreneurship equation outside of it, the process of money, you have to make it, to have it, to save it, to spend it. So we want to try those things. I'm not saying, again, exactly what you should do. I'm just simply giving you some suggestions and ideas. And if you do decide to try those, we want to know. Share in the comments, follow us on YouTube, like our page, click that bell so that you can get those notifications. Follow us on Facebook at LP Financial Consulting. You can also find us on Instagram at BeautyBoss313. And we're also on LinkedIn at LP Management and Consulting. Again, we want to know, did you try anything that we talked about? Did you set up an account, a retirement account? Did you start a high interest savings account? Did you try entrepreneurship with your children, or how money works by throwing a garage sale or a rummage sale or some sort of sale, lemonade stand? We want to know. Feedback is always great. So again, thank you for giving me your time. Like I said, I'm not going to take much of it. I hope that you have a wonderful weekend. I hope that this content has been a blessing to you. Let us know. Have a great day and a great weekend, guys. Bye.